Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 2013 IRB Americas Rugby Championship here in Langford, British Columbia. Got back-to-back games here tonight. First one, the three-time defending Argentina Pumas are taking on USA here at Westhills Stadium. Should be a great contest. And then the hometown Canada taking on Uruguay after that. So stay tuned. Two great games here. We're going to send it up to our broadcast booth for both matches.
Thanks very much, Brian Kelly. You are correct. We are here on this wonderful night, Victoria, BC, or Langford, BC, correction, at Westhills Stadium, the home of the ARCs. My name is Spencer Robinson. I'm joined tonight by Ian Hidley. Ian, we're looking forward to this match between these North and South American rivals.
Yep, absolutely, Spencer. Just two themes, development opportunities for all the players. And we're going to see a lot of young players from all four countries as the teams position themselves for the 2015 World Cup.
And Toby Lestrange for the U.S. gets it off. Game started with that kickoff, gathered nicely by the second row, Matias Alamano. Argentina already showing a little bit of power in their game. Just going to look for them to assert that physical nature that's a big part of their rugby. Moving the ball nicely down the back line. They find the seam, and they've already moved the ball 20 meters forward on the U.S. Strong tackle by the U.S. left winger. Just a bit of back and forth from the Argentinians, just trying to feel out the referees. Looks like he's got his hand up for advantage now. And the Argentinians has pushed it through. The referee, Chris Asmus, is going to come by for the offside play at the ruck.
Yeah, really promising start for Argentina there. On both occasions, they had the U.S. outflanked, out wide, and it's going to be very interesting to see. Obviously, Argentina with a great deserved reputation for outstanding set piece play, but they've certainly been working in the last couple of years in their rugby to develop their all-round game, their ability to attack with the ball in hand, and that was a very promising start.
Yes, the Argentinians, you're right, Ian. They're looking to develop that complete game, almost reminiscent of what New Zealand have been doing for years, to the point that they've also got quite a few New Zealanders involved in their coaching structure these days.
Well, New Zealand coach Graham Henry's been down and working with the senior team, the Pumas, and I know has been encouraging them to have the same confidence in attack that they do in defense. So they've just been fantastic in the last couple of World Cups on defense, and now can they, when they have the ball, do the same, play to the same standard, score lots of points.
Yeah. Well, that was the first line out of the game, and looks like he's going to get another throw at it now, but it's gone over to the U.S. So that was Viega for Argentina.
And I think the States, already, great respect for the Argentinian scrumming power that, with an option of a scrum or a line out, have opted to take the line out, which you don't see that often.
No, you don't. You're absolutely right. So the States winning the first line out, now moving the ball back into that back line. Their center, Palu, hitting it up in the middle of the field. And there, it's almost a similar pattern to what we saw from the Argentinians just a couple minutes ago. U.S. really trying to take it wide. But as you mentioned, the Argentinian defense has been strong.
I think for the Eagles, it will be very interesting to see, if they can play with any fluidity in attack. Last year, they were frankly disappointing when they had the ball. They only managed one try in the 3 ARC games. So that'll obviously be a key focus point for them. And again, one of the risks you run when you are running the ball from deep in your own end is if you do turn it over, leave yourself under a lot of pressure. Interesting, Argentina with excellent goal kicking are still opting to go to the corner and take the line out.
Fly half Sebastian Poet putting the ball just about 12 meters out from the U.S. line, and they will have the throw into this one. Garcia Viega getting his second chance at putting it in straight into the line out. So watch for the drive here off this line out. Oh, tricky play around the front of the line out. Referee's got his arm out as advantage to the U.S., so probably from the knock forward. So the U.S. has recycled the ball, and they'll probably look to clear their lines here, but they're going to hit it up a couple more times first.
And referee Chris Asmus, who is continuing a really fast rise up through the international ranks with tonight's appointment. A little bit unsighted there, but getting great help from his touch judge, Andrew McMaster, with the knock on at the front of the lineout. And a chance, Argentina be a bit disappointed to have lost possession on that set piece.
And this is the first scrum of the game. So Argentina, renowned for their scrummaging. The Americans have been working hard with their scrum coach, Justin Fitzpatrick. He's been really working hard with them. So see what we have here. It's the U.S. put in, but the RGs have gone over the ball, picked up by the captain, Dolan, for the U.S. So that's good skill to save the U.S. from that turnover at the scrum time. And that's a great box kick by the scrum half, Sean Davies. And it's gone into touch just on the 40-meter line of the U.S.
Yeah, really good play by the number 8, Cameron Dolan, at the back of the U.S. scrum. He's probably going to be under a bit of pressure tonight, and he was able to tidy up an untidy ball, and the U.S. being able to clear their lines.
Well, you're absolutely right. Cam Dolan will be under a lot of pressure to make something out of all the pressure the Argentinians are putting on the U.S. scrum. And you watch RG, they've been, even in warm-up, they're using that play back inside to their right winger, Barrera. A lot of new players on this in the Argentinian side here. We've had 2 penalties so far, both conceded by the U.S., and now Argentina with the ball, hitting it up, really testing this American defense. Some loose, scrappy play by the Argentinians, but they still have the ball. You can see that line of sky blue and white spread across the field, forwards and backs interchanging the ball. Now the scrum half's got options of both left and right if he wants, and he's going to go right. So Argentina just taking their time, working through the phases, looking for exactly that, a breach in the U.S. defense, and they've taken the ball forward. Now they got front football. We'll watch what they can do with it. Some good scramble defense by the U.S., I must say. And now the Argentines have to start all over again in the middle of the field. Stiff tackle by the Americans. 3rd penalty of the game going against the U.S. once again.
Yeah, good.
The ref wants to have a word already, so we're about 7 minutes into the match, and he's already calling over Captain Dolan to have a word to the USA. Is this a timely intervention, Ian, in your opinion?
It definitely a timely intervention. I mean, positive play has to be rewarded and negative play has to be penalized. And if the team without possession is going to dive in and kill the ball, those players have got to be dealt with. And I would think with Asmus, he's going to be looking at that's the chat he's had with Dolan. Dolan's got to get the message to his guys, and the referee then is going to be faced with having to card players, and don't want that to happen. But it's really critical that the ball carrier can play the ball quickly, and the team in possession can clear the ball quickly so the game can open up. Otherwise, it just becomes a war of attrition.
And no one wants that. We want to see some rugby being played. And that's the captain for the Argentinian side. The Jaguars. Number 15, Joaquin Tucalet. He's a man of, he's new to the tournament, the ARC, but a vastly experienced player.
Yeah, and this is really a very much a new look Jaguars team. 13 of their 26 players have played with the national U20s in the last 2 World Cups. These are all players. The World Cup 2015 is less than 2 years away, and a lot of these guys, can seize their opportunity in this tournament and through 2014 to get to that big world event.
Well, definitely pay attention to these names that you're going to see this over the next week here as Argentina's making a strong break down the right-hand side. Number 8 strong last year, and he's back again, Panisi. So and that's the left winger for Argentina, taking it just outside the U.S. 22, and the forwards now hitting the ball up. Strong play from Argentina. Recycled quickly. The Americans are really stretched right now, but the Argentina's Rojas decides to take it and hit it up again once in the middle of the field. Ooh, some nice interplay between the backs there. You see that pass out behind the back of the second receiver. Ooh, strong hit. America's open side flanker, Liam Murphy. Still dominant display by the Argentinians. They've held this ball for the majority of the game so far. And the flat ball going wide to the fullback. Short side still there for scrum half. Not enough room, so he goes back to the open side. And the short ball into Rojas. He's devastating. Quick feet. Offloads back inside to his number 8. And Panisi is just pulled down short of the line. Argentina pressing hard with a number of men on the left-hand side should they choose to go that way. They've gone right, and the knock on. U.S. is just dodging the bullet on that one there.
Yeah, some good scramble defense at the end by the States, but that was a very impressive build-up by Argentina. Of course, it all started, we talk about the basics of the game, being critical scrum, line-out restarts, and the U.S. work on that restart after the penalty goal was not good enough. The chase was left in a big avenue up the short side, which the Argentinian number 8 exploited, and then great support by the left wing, Matthias Orlando.
Yeah.
He played in the tournament here last year, was excellent, and he's part of a really dangerous Jaguars backline.
Yeah, Orlando was here last year, but new to the wing. He was playing in the centers last year, and now he's out on the wing. So U.S. scrum underneath their own post, and look at that strong by the Argentinian scrum. But that's Dolan doing what he does so well, clearing the ball under pressure. Now the U.S. has a chance to clear their lines. Lestrange trying to find touch. The ball bouncing on this artificial turf just well, and captain for Argentina has done well to recover that ball. Let's see if our American force him into touch. That's great offloading by the Argentinians, and now all avenues are open. Tukala once again, the open side flanker. Martinia. Chiapinisi is the first touchdown in the corner for Argentina. Great team try.
Yeah. And again, we build up to the U.S. They did ever so well to get the ball off their own line, and a long kick downfield which stayed in play, which wasn't a bad thing, but too much of the kick chase was down the middle of the field, and Argentina brought the ball back up the same channel right on the touchline, and excellent work. The captain, Joaquin Tucalet, number 15, heavily involved in that move. Obviously, tremendously experienced players, played over at Sale in Britain and also in Grenoble in France. And really showed his class in that play.
Well, he certainly did, and Argentina's benefited from that. And now fly half, Sebastian Poet, a new member of the squad for this year's ARC, gets the opportunity to convert the try by open side. Chiapinisi.
And it's a bit, Spencer, a bit of an ominous start for the States. I mean, they were the last team to arrive in town, didn't get here till Wednesday, but they had a camp in Seattle, get a lot of their work, and they actually played, controlled scrimmage against Old Puget Sound. But, they found the pace pretty hot to handle. They've been really extended defensively a couple of times already, and again, we're found wanting on the short side defense. Cam Dolan talking to his forwards, probably about their kick chase there, not filling in the holes well enough. And the Jaguars capitalizing.
Well, Captain Dolan's certainly done his part, the number 8 for the U.S. side. And they get another chance here, and are taking this ball down into Argentinian territory. Deeper kickoff for Lestrange, gathered nicely by Argentina, and once again they look to attack right from inside their 22. No fear in this side, and they've taken the ball outside their 22. And the ball is on the deck, claimed by the U.S., so now they get a chance to attack. Let's see what the red, white, and blue can do. First chance really with the ball in hand, and they've done well. Slight knock on, so it's turnover once again. Opportunity lost. U.S. having to regather the kick and start from deep in their own half. This is Lestrange. Nope, that's the outside center. Some nice footwork from him. Chris Chapman, experienced player. Back inside. America, options left and right, choosing right, and now kicking possession away. We'll see if that turns out in their favor or not. Kick block from the open side. He immediately clutches his left shoulder.
Well, again, often the best ball to get as we have a break in the action is from the opponent's turnovers. And first, Argentina, having received the kickoff and moved into the middle of the field, turned the ball over, gave the U.S. a chance. Their short side attack broken down because they too lost the ball forward and allowed Argentina to clear way down the field.
Surprising, the kick chase from the Argentinians on that kick from the fullback wasn't that good. There were a lot of blue jerseys back here, and they had that opportunity, almost a 5-on-3 situation. Ultimately, they decided to go for the kick, and unfortunately, it looks like it's resulted. They're going to lose their open side. Liam Murphy, the man from County Clare in Ireland, looks like he might have done a separation by blocking that kick. So line out to come. Garcia Viega to throw in right on just outside the 22 for Argentina. They've gathered nicely. Scrum half puts up the box kick, Imhoff. And the ball is kicked straight out of bounds. Interesting. So that ball was taken into the 22 by Argentina. And they've kicked it straight out of bounds, so the line out will be given to the U.S. just inside the Argentinian 22.
Yeah, an error by the number 9, Imhoff, but having said that, it was just, it was inches from being an excellent kick.
This is Phil Thiel, the Life Chiropractic College student who's thrown the ball in for the U.S. So they're going wide with this. Let's see if they've missed Palu in the middle of the field. Gone straight to their back row player standing out wide, Daniel Barrett, and he's recycled. And the ball is moved now to some of their bigger players. So still haven't breached the Argentinian defense, but they're working hard. The U.S. They've got the field shared nicely, and again they've conceded a penalty. That's penalty number 4 for the U.S. And whether they're with the ball or without the ball, they seem to be the only side committing penalties today.
And they'll be disappointed there because Argentina's not even really contesting in numbers at the breakdown. They're just fanning out. They've got a tackler, then one in for the ball, and the other 13 players on their feet, which is good, solid defense, and lots of supporting players at the ruck for the Eagles, and they can't manage to dislodge the sole Argentinian player competing for the ball.
Yeah, that's not a good sign. And then obviously you've got to change your game plan a bit if the defense is just fanning out as we get ready for the Argentinians to throw into the line out at the U.S. 40-meter line. Lots of movement in the line out. Ultimately they go to the back, and it's quick ball off the top for the RGs. Lots of misdirection and dummy runners in this Argentinian side, and that's just a straight missed tackle one-on-one, the U.S. 15 on the Argentinian 15. So ball taken up into the middle of the field by the Argentinians. They'll come around the corner with the pick and go, and they've got lots of Argentines on this left-hand side, and they come back towards us here. And now Rojas, a runner of the ball, decides he's going to go for the kick.
And that was very, very good vision by Argentina. Notice the ball came very quickly from the respective breakdowns there, and the U.S. defense very badly stretched up flat, outnumbered, and little kick in behind by Argentina that just ran into touch. Otherwise, that would have been try number 2.
Javier Rojas, he's wearing the number 12 jersey this year, as he did last year, and he was a standout player for the Argentinian side, actually man of the match when they played the U.S. last year. And he's brought his A game once again. Teal to throw in. Contested. Scrappy ball for the U.S., so they'll have to try and run this out, and that's Palu, their big center, hitting it up in the middle of the field. The U.S. can recycle. They've got no option but to kick this possession away once again, and that's Imhoff, the U.S., who does a brilliant job leaping and taking that one in the air. The pressure is good from Dolan, and there might be a chance for the U.S. to turn that ball over. Good work by the U.S. captain in number 8. Opportunity here for the U.S. They're going a little bit wider, and that's his good play. Nice footwork by the U.S. left winger. Ed Mills. And now the U.S. This is 3 or 4 phases. They can hold the ball. There's some space on this right-hand side. Gone back inside. And again, the skills have let them down. Look how quickly the Argentinians are moving that ball away once that turnover is made. Backs and forwards interplaying nicely. Oh, there it is. That's the vision of this Argentinian side and the skill. The fullback puts the ball on the toe and it's still in bounds. And picked up nicely by Imhoff, and that is a beautiful score by Argentina.
Well, there was some really, really good rugby all the way around there, starting with an excellent kick ahead by the States. Counter ruck, moved the ball. The States had a chance up the left side, made 30-40 meters, but again, the fatal turnover, flicked away by Argentina. And a couple of quick possessions and up the left side, and it's just again the class of Tugalet, the fullback. Took an awkward pass, some good footwork to beat his man, and then just a textbook grubber kick down the sideline, and well gathered by the supporting player for the try.
They really are taking their chances, this Argentinian side. As you mentioned, Ian, The U.S. were in complete control of that ball for 50 meters and several phases, but that one tiny error, it seemed as though the whole Argentinian side just switched on to attack as soon as they got it and worked it through several pairs of hands. Result, try. So they're leading 13-0 over the USA right now, and they're looking pretty formidable. This is the 3-time champions, Argentinian Jaguars, at the ARC Championship in Westhills Stadium.
I think what is really pleasing is that they are really looking to use the ball to run, to keep possession, being great accuracy in their passing. You'll notice a lot of their back moves involve a dummy runner and then the ball coming in behind. Here we're looking at the end of the try, just the nudge through by Tukulet and the pickup for the score. But it all started well back with some good vision and then some excellent passing off the U.S. turnover.
Well, here's the U.S. again. They've got to build from the back once more. They've shown some great enterprise, but those tiny skills breaking it down, and then the Argentinians take advantage. Watch this. This is a deep one, or just over 10 meters. And they've gone deep again. Scrum half, Pedro Imhoff takes most of the kickoffs, it seems, for the Argentinian side. The U.S. trying to hold up the Argentinians here to get the scrum put in. This would be an achievement in itself, but they would not. Oh, the ball's been recycled. Ball still in play. U.S. fullback, Adam Siddell, hitting it up for their U.S. side, and they've got room on the right-hand side should they choose, and they do. Sean Davies moving it right out to his blindside flanker. Ball is secured. Argentina, though, lined up, and they're so confident in their defense. Their structure is confident. The U.S. trying to find a gap. There aren't many. Wide ball, gone in behind Palu. Still searching for a breach in that Argentinian defense. Ooh, almost the intercept. And the U.S. still working hard. There's a knock-on against Argentina. So U.S. at least will have something, and it'll scrum put in on the Argentinian 40 meters.
I think obviously, central to any good team defense is the individual one-on-one tackling ability. And, in the past decade, the Argentinian Pumas, the top team, has, been exceptional in defense. And some of their, they're just straight one-on-one tackling is technically very good, very physical, very powerful. And, what we're seeing tonight from the Jaguars is the same. People are not missing tackles or requiring assistance. A second person and to get in on the tackle, and makes it very difficult for the States to get through.
Yeah, and Ian, when you've got that confidence, or when you've got across the board your players with that one-on-one skill, whether it's a long placement of the ball, tackling, catching kicks, your whole team just builds in confidence, and so you can take a position, it increases your line speed, and you're able to put more pressure across the park on your opposition. So we watch the U.S. hooker. That's Philip Thiel, the Life College, chiropractic college student. So hopefully he's all right. We're going to go back to the scrum. It'll be a scrum put in for the U.S. So watch for Captain Dolan to do the majority of the work here to try and get this ball away from the scrum before the U.S. is pushed off the ball. New sequence of engagements just come into the Northern Hemisphere this year. Scrum or crouch, bind, and set. And can you let us know why that change has been made to the game, the formation of the scrum?
Well, I think the scrum is becoming the almost the bastard child of the game. I mean, so many games are interrupted by endless resets and collapses and guessing by the referee as to who's at fault, and they're trying to change the cadence every time to maybe lessen the impact, just try to get the ball back in play. I won't say I don't think it's really worked this year, not maybe the way, but they're still going to obviously stick with it. So last year was a 4-count cadence. This year it's back to 3. Used to be 2. But there's no question that a lot of games are really slowed down as the scrums are collapsed and then are having to be reset all the time.
Scrappy possession won by the U.S. on that scrum as the Argentinians were pushing him backwards. So that's a long pass in the middle of the field, and Palu picks out his the Argentinian fullback for the big hit. And here again, the U.S. using that blitz defense on the Argentinians, but it could have backfired against them because they've left themselves vulnerable out wide. Great interplay by the Argentinians as they've taken the ball right up just to halfway. There's that one-on-one tackling you talked about. The U.S. trying to emulate the RGs, and they've got room on the outside on the left-hand side. Once again, the U.S. trying to go for that choke tackle, keep the ball in the air, unsuccessful. And coming up on the injured player there, referee says play on. Several phases. Argentina being very patient with their possession, changing their game a little bit now, a little bit of pick and go, not just this lateral play. Ooh, Sean Davies gambling on the ball, being out and being correct. Fantastic catch and pass skills from the RGs. Maybe some isolation. The U.S. might have a chance to win this turnover. Referee Asmus having a good look at it, says no. So Argentina once again, ball in hand. Not even thinking of kicking the ball. And you see the referee's blown the play up. Ian, what's that for?
Well, we've got a injured player down on the field, and the medical teams were out having a look. And as play moved there, referee Chris Asmus quite rightly decided that there was a danger, and so he stopped play, and it'll resume with an Argentina scrum. Really pleasing watching the Argentinians with the ball is that in the close quarters, you know, even their big players are showing excellent footwork. You know, they rarely are just taking a contact point, you know, straight on to the chest. There's always little sidestep at the last minute, driving through the gaps, running at the arms of the defenders, winning that yard after the contact, which makes it so much easier to free the ball up and move it away quickly. And certainly, you know, every time Argentina can clear the ball quickly from a ruck situation, the U.S. defense is really stretched.
Oh, you're absolutely right. They're doing what you call, you know, they run at the branches, not at the tree. So looking for spaces in between players, not for players themselves. And then they're allowed to offload out of the contact. As we see Argentina having to regroup because they've lost their loose head prop, Bruno Postiglione. He looks like he's done something to his shoulder. So that's two injuries so far today, one for the U.S. and one for the Americans as they... Pardon me, we look at the replay of this neatly taken try by the Argentinian left winger, Matias Orlando. And this is some of that interplay you talked about, Ian. This is a try once again. There's the...
just beautiful balance by Tukale, the fullback, and then obviously he is left-footed, but he just executed a superb, just pushed the grubber kick past the last defender and his winger up in support for the try. Just, you know, quality skills all the way around there, and you know, a very, very good score. And certainly, you know, it's easy for the Argentinians. They want to counterattack the ball and move it all the time. Their captain is a fullback. He's a quality player. Both wings, you know, very, very dangerous. And so when you're playing out to those guys, it's easy. You know, it's easy to keep doing it and wanting to keep doing it.
Well, Argentina now having to put into the first scrum, and no, the U.S. have gone early, so free kick to the RGs. And a loose pass is picked up by the Americans, and now they've got a chance to attack down the right flank. Great work. He's got to stay in bounds. Keep the pressure on the Argentinian side. Palu acting as scrum half onto Lestrange, and now the U.S. have it in the middle of the field. Some slow ball by Davies, unfortunately. But they've gone to the left side, and they're getting some purchase for their adventure right now. Davies is rushing to the ruck. And looking for some positive play. Coming in there, that's Derek Aspen, who's come into the game, but they've put the ball down, so the RGs, using those soccer skills that the country is famous for, have just nudged the ball forward, putting the Americans under pressure. Stiff tackle by the Argentinians, halting all American progress. So now America, despite having the ball, are really under pressure in the contact area. The ref has stopped play immediately, and it looks like he's he wants to have a word with the U.S. tight head prop Sean Pittman, student at Trinity College in Dublin, Ireland.
And I don't know if Asmus might have felt at that ruck there was maybe a player in an awkward position. The U.S. had possession of the ball and are getting this scrum, so it seemed that he stopped it perhaps. Felt if there was in a vulnerable position.
Caution, yeah. So that's probably a good and bad thing. It's referee using his own judgment to stop play, and so now the U.S. have put into the scrum, but as we've seen in every scrum so far, they are under considerable pressure by the opposition at this put in. Sean Davies, ball into scrum. Dolan doing the work at the back to pick up to Davies. Davies decides to kick, and now we've given it away to the Argentinians, and watch what they've done even with a little bit of room like that. That is fantastic play by Captain Tukale. What a kick. The referee, our assistant referee, said there's been a foot in touch. So we're going to...
For all the young players that are watching, from Tukale, first he showed the grubber kick. There was the chip kick, and beautifully executed, gathered, and just edge of his boot on the touch line. Touch judge Andrew Hosey right on the call. But again, excellent skills from Tukale.
Phil Field to throw in. Lots of movement to U.S. line now. He's gone to the back, and it's been taken away, but Dolan comes through with the foot. So more pressure on Argentina. Broken defensive line. So Imhoff is able to find some. Coming back. Watch the comeback to this left-hand side now. Short side still there. First penalty against Argentina in the game. First penalty for player on the ground holding on to the ball.
And that was terrific work by U.S. loosehead Titi Lamacitelli. In over top of the tackled player and winning the ball. Here's what we're watching on the replay, just a little chip. Excellent skills there by Tukale. Just a foot in touch. And then watch him offload the ball before he gets down to contact to keep the move going. Again, he's giving an excellent display so far.
Yeah, it's a clinic. It's a bit of a clinic by Tukale on all the skills. Good work. So here the U.S. looks like they're going to go for the try to get on the scoreboard with 3 points.
Have to give the States credit. They're slowly sort of coming back into the game. They were just like blitzed in the first 20 minutes, gave up 2 tries, and we're under a lot of defensive pressure. But if they can get this one, and even get to half, still only down 13-3 or within 10 points, they'll have a chance.
Well, unfortunately not with that kick, because it's gone just wide into the 22. The Argentinians have touched it down, so they'll have the restart at the 22.
Yeah, maybe a bit of a speculative effort there, nearly 50 meters, and it's getting cold and damp tonight, and the ball not flying as far as it might otherwise.
Argentina opting to go fairly long on the restart, and the Americans have let that one bounce, even though it's traveled so far. Lestrange moving the ball into the middle of the park. That's fullback Siddle taking it up against the RGs. So we'll see Americans fishing for one more penalty. Now we got 2. It's 2 penalties in a row against the Argentinians. The Americans were given a warning after 3 penalties. So see if referee Asmus is as strict with the Argentinians. So this one is for not retrieving 10 on the previous penalty.
See, and I'm surprised that Asmus, Argentina diving in to kill the first penalty, but a quick tap by the States. The player tackled almost immediately. Usually that at least brings a little bit of a discussion between the ref and the defending player. And good option by the States. The previous kick at goal, just 50 meters is too far, and so now they've got an attacking line out in the 22.
Mm-hmm.
And 33 minutes gone in the half. A score before the break would just do wonders for the U.S. morale.
Well, watch for Dolan again, the number 8, the captain. He was, I watched him in the warm-up, and there he is. Yeah, taking the ball at that top height. So U.S. have recycled from that line out. And now they've got an opportunity with some width on it. Ooh, great tackle by the RGs, as you mentioned, and stiff tackles. That was Rojas, number 12, coming in. But the U.S. have breached that 22-meter zone, so now it's a time where usually a team will get some kind of reward from this getting into the 22, 3 points or 7. The U.S. going with this pick and go option. Now this is when the defense is spread. They're trying to tighten that defense up by taking it nice and close in tight. And already you can see the Argentinians dragged into the contact area, more so than they'd like. Now it's Dolan offloading in the contact. Captain Courageous. U.S. with the ball inside the 22 with lots of room. Palu on the wraparound. Lestrange. Back. Outside center. Chris Chapman. Oh, unfortunately crossing. Bumped into his own player. So now we've got scrum to Argentina.
Yeah.
Referee's got an injured man down. That's Thiel. Scrum or the hooker.
And just looking at the as the U.S. moved the ball wide there, one of the outside defenders for Argentina came blitzing up out of line to put a lot of pressure on, and that must be communicated. That player shooting out of the defensive line and going for the big hit. The players around the ball carrier have got to communicate that. Can pass over top, can pass behind, right, and take him out of the play, and in fact leave a hole in the defensive line as opposed to suffer a big hit.
I think a big hit or the ultimate, which is the intercept, that comes when you try to string that long pass, and if your teammates don't communicate to you, that could be a turnover that costs you 7 points.
Again, some good build-up by the States. Nice lineup ball to Dolan, and then 4 or 5 effective phases. Dolan involved again. Nice little offload as he broke right off the ruck. But again, the Argentinian defense is just, even when they get breached or half breached, they scramble back well. They keep their shape, and you really have to put a lot of phase play together to find a way through.
So long injury breaks. I'm concerned for Phil Thiel, the U.S. hooker. He's got to be right if he's going to go in that middle of scrum again, and he will be feeling the brunt of the Argentinian 8-man shove on every scrum engagement.
I think from both coaching staffs that this period, the 4 minutes to the break and the time immediately after halftime are just, often forgotten. They're critical times in the game. If the States could score here and convert and get out of this half only 13-7 down, they'd be actually in with a good shout after the break. If Argentina holds them out, it's a longer way back, and who knows, or Argentina counter and score again, and now it's a 3-score game. So key time.
Key time will watch as the Argentinians put this ball into the scrum, middle of the field, and that's a better scrum from the U.S. They've kind of held their ground. The ball looks like it's come out quickly, and the U.S. have won the penalty. Big decision for Captain Dolan. Take the 3 or go for the 7.
I think it's an easy decision. Just got to reward your forwards. And they'll be really pleased. And you got to be honest, it's a fully capped front row for the Eagles. Lamasatelli, Thiel, and Pittman, and they very, very capable trio. And again, that's a great ball to take against the head. And this kick should be a formality for Adam Siddle. And again, this is the crucial score for the States. Now, as we go back, we've talked about basics, and how important they are. With the score now 13-3, what happens on this restart? Can the States turn it around and get back on attack, or are they going to absorb a lot of pressure in field position, or are they going to make an error and give Argentina the last go before the break? But we have to say it's been a promising last sort of 15, 18 minutes for the Eagles. They've, they were kind of blitzed at the start, and they've stabilized well, and some of their key guys are stepping to the fore.
So here we go. Kicking off to the Americas is Argentina, and that ball's taken by Dolan. He takes a huge hit, but he's recycled well. I'm impressed with Cam Dolan, the U.S. number 8. And the U.S. time ticking on the clock, kicks possession away, 40 meters out from their own line. Argentinians once again with the ball. Right, kind of just holding off there, trying to hold up the ball carrier. Failed, so the Argentinians still be able to recycle the ball. The Americans have gone for this quite a bit, this choke tackle, holding up the attacker so they get to put into the scrum, and they've aimed it.
Interesting that you make, the reference to the choke tackle, which is, Ireland have used very effectively in the last couple of years. And the new U.S. forwards coach, Justin Fitzpatrick, former Ireland prop, now in the coaching ranks, has obviously brought that technique over. And, what it means is that you with 1, 2, multiple ball carriers, hit the multiple defenders, hit the ball carrier, don't let him get to ground, don't let him get the ball back. And that then becomes a turnover possession. So although Argentina took the ball into the tackle area, it's the U.S. that get the scrum.
Not as easy as it looks. It's still a lot of hard work to keep that ball carrier down because he'll have his support players, to keep him up. He'll have his support players trying to get him to the ground. But if it's executed well, as Ireland does so well and as the U.S. have done with some success here tonight, it's an easy way to get turnover. Free kick against the Argentinians for going early in the scrum. So Dolan takes away, uses his fly half Lestrange, who moves it on to Palu, and the U.S. have run out of bounds.
Yeah, a bit disappointing there. You just, on the attack, just have to keep the ball in play. Do anything possible. You just saw a great example by the Argentinian left wing. Orlando really coming in hard off his left foot to keep the ball alive. State's not able to do that, and they've given away possession.
A line-out throw is good from Argentina, and they might be thinking about the clock a little bit as they look to go to the driving maul, maybe eat up a few more of these precious seconds to get out of this half unscathed. But they're going a little bit with some width now. And, bringing in the blind winger. And that is good-looking rugby. Rojas with the offload to his captain. And that's Tucalet still fighting hard to stay in bounds. Knock-on called against the Argentinians. Some good rugby by Argentina as they look to get some more points out before the half is out.
Tucalet having involved there prominently and having a chat with referee Asmus. I think a player held back there. So we look at the replay, but again, terrific play from Argentina. Multi-phase and a lovely line by the winger there in through the defense from the blind side, and some passing before contact. Good handoff by 12. There's Tucalet involved. Another good footwork back inside. And that last little pass just going down. And again, scores before the half. U.S. lucky not to concede there. Big scrum for the Eagles. Big scrum.
As you mentioned, so Sean Davies has put it in, and the Argies are giving it their all. They want to get some more points on the board in this half. Referee allowing that scrum to continue. So Eagles looks like they've secured possession, and Davies has put it into touch.
That is a big scrum. Terrific play by Dolan there to tidy up that ball.
Okay, so that was a very enterprising half. We got the score at 13-3 for Argentina over the U.S. The way they started the first 5 minutes, you would have expected to have a 20 or 25-point gap. But the U.S. finding some courage and some skill and discipline in the second half of that first stanza, and able to keep scores only 10 points difference.
Thanks very much, guys. Great first half here at the IRB Americas Rugby Championship. Argentina leading United States 13-3. Tries coming from Matias Alemano and Matias Orlando in the first half. Very special guest joining me here, Mark Egan, Head of Competitions and Performance for the International Rugby Board. Mark, very happy to have you here. Tell us a little bit about how important this tournament is for the IRB.
Well, firstly, great to be here at this fantastic venue here in Langford. Very important tournament, this one, for us, particularly for our strategic investment unions like Canada, USA, Uruguay, and also for Argentina. While they're in the Rugby Championship, they still need that extra level of competition below the Puma level, and this tournament plays a very important part of bringing the players through the pathway. For USA and Canada, obviously, Canada have qualified for Rugby World Cup 2015, USA still, and Uruguay both still have to get there. So again, it's a very good tournament in terms of its timing and preparation for the November window. Both USA and Canada are going to Europe now for three test matches each. They've got games against the Maori All Blacks coming up as well. So the reason we put it in the October window is to give the coaches the chance to look at some players who they might include in the November program. So, I mean, at the end of the day, we want to get more high-quality games, particularly for USA and Canada, who are our Tier 2 strategic investment unions. And they really can only get those games in tournaments like this.
The IRB has expressed a lot that it's an exciting time for rugby, and not only Canada, but in the United States and across the Americas. Is this a market that you guys are really targeting towards?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, every sport wants to break into the American market, but I guess we're lucky in that both USA and Canada have got very long rugby traditions here as well. I mean, it's it is a challenge competing with the professional sports that are already here, but the game is growing. USA in particular, through their rookie rugby program and the college programs, etc., have close to 1 million people playing the game, and Rugby Canada is experiencing significant growth as well. I think when you include the school children, there's over 100,000 people playing rugby in Canada. And we're seeing excellent growth in Mexico, in Brazil. Argentina has over 150,000 players, 600 clubs. So, and countries like Colombia are growing. So the game is growing. We have 118 full member unions, and there's about another 30 countries out there who are progressing through our membership pathway. So with the Olympic inclusion and Rugby Sevens in Rio 2016, the World Series kicked off today. The men's HSBC Sevens World Series kicked off in Gold Coast. The women's World Series will kick off in Dubai in December. So there's a huge amount of rugby happening out there. The game is growing. More and more girls are getting to play the sport as well. I mean, that's the area that excites me most about being an Olympic sport, is that women and young girls are now really interested in rugby, because Rugby Sevens is a very attractive form of the game. So all positive, and the Americas are a very important market for us.
Thanks, Mark. One last thought. Argentina, the three-time defending ARC champions, had the advantage in the first half. What are your predictions at the end of this game?
I think Argentina will be too good for USA. I think USA have got a young side. They're trying to bring through some young players. They've only got about, I think, 6 or 7 guys who've been capped before. The Argentinian team, these guys have played in the Vodacom Cup in South Africa. Some of them are in the Nations Cup in Romania this year, in the IRB Nations Cup. So much more experienced side. You can see that. But USA are holding up. They could have dropped the heads in the second half of that half. But I think it'll be Argentina on top, and then Canada looks strong as well. So I think it's between Argentina and Canada. But we're seeing some good rugby overall, which is good.
And that's what it's all about, is good rugby here in the IRB Americas Rugby Championship. Mark Egan alongside Brian Kelly, thanking you for listening here. Second half between Argentina and USA will be coming up in just a moment.
Right. Well done, Brian. Very good. You're very good at that.
Trying to think who was the I don't know who got the second try. Was it Imhoff, the kicker, the scrum half?
I don't think so. Was it the flanker?
No.
Camacho? Oh, no, I think it was this guy. Open side, yeah.
Oh yeah, number 7. Yeah, so that's good. Okay. So you can bring that in at the start, and Pittman, Sid will get the kick for the States.
Are you doing replays of tries rolling into the second half? Sure. Yeah. We missed the first 2 tries. You missed the first one? Okay. No. Like right before we go down. Oh, right before. Okay, see if you want to play, we'll play.
Who's right there? Number 5?
Craig White, I think.
Oh, right.
Where are we picking up audio from? Are you guys both muted?
Hello?
And we're back. It's the Americas Rugby Championship here in Westhills Stadium at Langford. And this is made possible, these American Rugby Championships, through the support of our primary sponsors, the International Rugby Board, Tourism Victoria, the City of Langford, Canadian Direct Insurance, and the Province of British Columbia. Mayor Stu Young, the City of Langford, are a big supporter of rugby in this part of the world, and rugby has been the benefactor of that great support, not just with these facilities, of course, Canadian Direct Insurance, a long-time sponsor with rugby on the West Coast and across Canada. The Province of British Columbia. And as we get ready to start the second half here, Argentina leading by a score of 13-3 over the United States of America. Ball's gone long and taken by the ever-present captain of the U.S., Cam Dolan. Partially charged, so no offside there by the Americans. And they've come too strong, but they've left a gap in their defense, exploited by the Argentinians. So, as you mentioned, Ian, very few Argentinians in the ruck, even on their own ball. So they're really trying to spread this field left and right. U.S. put under pressure. Argentina doing a little bit more pick and go before they go wide. And they found some space on that left-hand side with a stiff tackle coming in by the Americans. So lots of fire, some good line speed by the Americans. Let's see if they can shut it down. Great skills. Oh, that's that man from last year. Number 12, Javier Rojas, man of the match versus the Americans last year. Man of the match, and now he's really come to the fore. So that's an early score for the Argentinians.
Well, we did talk about either side of the half, and the U.S. were lucky not to concede a try just before halftime. And here's the build-up, partially deflected box kick, and now some great interplay by the Jaguars, taking the ball to the left. And again, they've used the sort of swap move where they have a dummy runner and then they pass behind that runner. And we see it going up, and now there's that swap right there in behind. And now the breakthrough has become, and no chance for the U.S. defense, 6-on-2. And again, interestingly, last year when these two teams played in the same game, it was very close-ish scoreline at the half, and then it just blew out in the second half, and it was 39-3 for the Pumas. And now at 20 points to 3, that's just the score the U.S. just could not afford to concede. They'll really have to knuckle down now.
Well, once again, Lestrange looking to restart. He's done a lot of this today. He's been kicking off quite a bit to the Argentinians. And that one's gone just outside the 22. And Argentina not looking for any safety net. Looks like they're going to run it. They've got their boys all lined up wide, and they're moving it to their right. Some footwork that's been effective once again. And now the pass is deep, and kicking the ball away on the third phase. Unusual for Argentina. Straight out of bounds, and that's why it's unusual. They've conceded possession.
Well, they won't be happy with that. They hit it up a couple phases, took the ball from inside the 22 to outside. Then they played it back inside and cleared, and you can't get the gain off the touch unless you bounce it out, which they didn't. So this is a big chance for the States, because this is a prime attacking position that they probably didn't really merit, and now they got to take advantage.
Well, the Argentinian coaches will be hoping that their fellows are not switching off, because that first score in the second half was so easy and came so quickly, because now the Americans can apply the same pressure and nullify that score. Possession is scrappy, but it is won by the Americans, and they're bringing their right winger back into the play. Mark Roberts, a new player to the ARC this year. And the U.S. having to use quite a bit of numbers at that breakdown. That's Pittman, Sean Pittman hitting it up. The Americans slowly, patient, trying to build momentum, maybe even looking for a penalty. And there goes, arm is out from referee Chris Asmus. So they've got a penalty should no advantage come from this possession here, the Americans. It's a penalty advantage as well. So referees normally let these play a little bit longer. And the ball's gone the deck. So yes, referee Chris Nass is going to come back to the middle of the field, just outside the 22, for the penalty. Looks like offside at the last ruck.
Yeah, so a whole pile of pick and goes by the American forwards. And, that might be a product of the halftime discussion with Argentina not committing a lot of players to the tackle area, just fanning out. That U.S. have decided to pick and go and try to drive in those channels around the ruck. And they, had some good success there, and they won the penalty. And just a critical response, having giving up basically a pretty soft score to start the second half, to get back to 20 points to 6. And I'm sure that fullback Adam Siddle will have no difficulty with this kick.
Well, good things happen when you keep the ball, when you keep possession. The Americans certainly did that. And they get this opportunity to convert 3 points.
Just interesting, capitalizing on errors. Argentina were quick to capitalize on the deflected clearance by the States to start the half, and that time Argentina gave away, territory and possession by kicking out on the full when they, from inside the 22 when they brought the ball back inside, and again, those are the little errors which really get magnified when the other team cashes in.
So the U.S. able to claw back 3 points. Lestrange receives the kickoff and then immediately stepping outside the 22. No inside, says the assistant referee. So ground gain, although possession given away to the Argentinians.
Do you know how to get to Langford? Do you know how to get to Langford by bus? Okay, so you're just like taking a city trolley or whatever? Okay. Just, at the gate, explain your TV crew, your light.
So U.S. and that's Palu. The referee's playing some advantage still as the ball's pushed through on the ground. And Tucolet, this man with the chinky feet, he's done it again. Made something out of nothing. So U.S. are ruining their possession that they kick away as the Argentinians are using it at every opportunity. Ball recycled, line up across the field. And strong here. We go for the choke tackle once again, the Americans. They can hold him up. Get the put into this scrum. That's definitely a maul. And now if the Argentinians can't produce it, it'll be an American put in.
Well, that's been an effective tactic for the Eagles tonight. Notice they just get in high on the ball carrier with two players as quickly as possible. And obviously the players, all of them, are just immensely strong. And, that's two occasions that the Jaguars have not been able to produce the ball. And again, midfield scrum, very good attacking opportunity for USA. And I think as we move ahead in the game, again, next score is going to be crucial. Eagles get it, they're back in the game, and obviously if the Jaguars get it, they just blow out to a 3-score lead.
Penalty immediately. Referee, no hesitation. The Argentinian loose head collapsing on engagement. So penalty against Argentina's scrum. So they're going to kick for the corner.
Yeah, and credit to the Eagles scrum. They were under a lot of pressure in the first 15 minutes, and but they've really stabilized nicely. And now line-out time. Probably will be looking for Dolan again.
Well, he has been Mr. Everything for the U.S. team tonight.
A couple of subs coming in for replacement players in for the U.S. Number 23, Tim Maupin, coming into the backs, and number 19, Tai Tuisamoa.
Well, interesting time for those changes to come in.
Yeah, Tuisamoa in it for the lock, number 5, William Haydock, and in the backs, Maupin in for number 14, right wing, Mark Roberts.
Lots of conferencing going on by the Americans. They want to make sure they get this right. It's an opportunity that they haven't had several times today. So possession, they're put into the line out just outside the Argentinian 22. And they've gone to Dolan again. And now they're giving Argentina a bit of their own medicine, or trying at least. The driving play. Still in possession. And that's Teal, who's tried to go down the blind side. Picked up by Davies. So still with the ball. They've got to stay away from this touchline. They want to keep this ball in play, the Americans. Keep the pressure on Argentina. Davies has recycled himself out. Now he's in position. Some pick and go play. The Americans they don't want to release this ball to their backs unless they're going forward and the possession's been recycled quickly. They want to make sure that the defensive line of the Argentinians aren't set and waiting for them when they release it to their backs. Very patient play. They don't want to do is get that ball carrier isolated in any way. Oh, and they've knocked it on. So Argentina coming away. Knock on, unfortunately. So I'll give the scrum to Argentina.
And again, too, it's again a clear indication that the Eagles have shifted tactics, and they're looking to attack the Jaguar defense in close to the breakdown. Notice how on the pickups that often, as the ball carrier gathers, and a teammate will latch on, try to drive him through the holes. But fair play to the Jaguar defense. They were up to the task then, forcing the knock on. It's interesting that with the U.S. that as they, hundreds of thousands of just outstanding athletes in the country, in such a huge country, and how they've looked at other sports and chosen, tried to find. They've got Carla Niles, who's been a revelation in the sevens circuit. But interesting, a story just the other day about Nigel Melville, the president of USA Rugby, throwing out an invitation to Tim Tebow, the well-known NFL ex-NFL quarterback, and giving him, saying that they'd love to see him have a go at rugby as he now maybe searches for new employment. And certainly Tebow tested out fantastically well at the NFL Combine. Was a really special athlete and the kind of player that the Eagles could use.
Well, the rugby is a superbly athletic game, as we see the skills on hand from the Argentinians here. The footwork, the contact skills, the passing, the tenacity, the communication. As they move the ball from right to left, and now they've gone to the foot. And that's the fullback for the Americans, who's had a decent game today. Taking the ball, unfortunately, America has gone out of bounds once again.
Yeah, I think nice little counterattack there by Siddle, the fullback, but he was looking for the new winger, Maupin, to maybe come back in on a switch move. And, just in attack, you have to get the ball off the touchline. Just allows the defense to reset and actually gives away possession. But, the sideline is the best tackler in the game. And, the U.S. have got to try and, as soon as they get to that 5-meter channel, got to be thinking about getting back in field when they're on attack.
Well, the number of times, even given and I'm sure it's not 50-50, but even if it was 50-50 possession given to each team at the start of the game, I'm sure the Americans have probably conceded a further 20 of that possession just through small knock-ons, kicking the ball away, or running out of bounds.
And now we've had, quite a few stoppages in the last, 10, 12 minutes of play. And I know Chris Asmus will be wanting to, get the game moving. It's just lost its rhythm a little bit from, what was a fairly, bright opening half an hour. Interesting, some comments by Luis Castillo, the Argentina president. He talking about the 0-6 performance and we'll get to that in a minute, but as the U.S. steal line-out ball.
Oh, very good steal. And that was a tight head prop as well on the steal. Palu being used for what he's there for, hitting up in the middle of the field. So if they can get quick ball, but they've got advantage. Referee giving the advantage. And this is an interesting one. Let's see if he has a word with any of the Argentinians now. These are penalties in or just outside the 22 in the last 10 minutes of play. You see Captain Dolan going to ask him just that.
And I think Dolan's quite right. they're going to take the penalty and take the 3 points. But Argentina had given up the line break, were scrambling defensively, and they'll be happy to only concede 3. And that's where the refereeing really needs to be strong. There doesn't need to be a series of warnings and multiple offenses. If guys are killing the ball in prime attacking positions, they need to pay the penalty with the yellow card. And that might be one that Asmus will want to look at as he's reviewing tape. Don't let the guys that are diving in to kill the ball get away with it.
And Siddle is sure with his conversion of that penalty, so another 3 points on the board for the U.S.
Getting back to the Pumas, and they were 0-6 in the rugby championship. Obviously playing with Australia, New Zealand, and South Africa. But this tournament's so valuable for them as they build their infrastructure.
You're right. You're only as good as your infrastructure. As we see the Americans hit it up now, they've taken that ball outside the 22. So should they choose to kick and it goes directly into touch, it would be a turnover. But they're going wide. And now they put the foot on it by Siddle. Bounced into play, but many Argentinians there. The kick chase is fairly good, but the tackling not so much. And the Argentinians able to offload out of the tackle several times. So here they are taking it up to the American defense once again, and still they keep recycling that ball. Keep it alive. Some juggled ball, and it's Dolan in the middle of the field. Captain putting his hands on the ball for the Americans. Ball taken into the 22. And Lestrange is looking for some space in behind. And a good chase down the field by the American left winger. Ed Mills done a good job. Good pressure. Great pressure. Results in the Argentinians having to kick the ball halfway. So the Americans have a throw into this line out.
As we were discussing, the Argentina full team play in the Rugby Championship with New Zealand, South Africa, and Australia, and their president mentioned that they play in the Formula One of World Rugby, all right, but without a Formula One infrastructure, and so competitions like this and the Vodacom Cup, so important.
That's a great thing for Argentinian rugby to be able to participate in that rugby championship, as we see the Americans once again on the straightforward switch move, put the ball down, and the Argentinians not doing the same, so keeping possession up. Referee, it's a knock-on advantage, so it's going back to. I was just going to say he might be over, but he's gone back to the knock-on.
It looked like the U.S. number 13 a wee bit offside there at the breakdown, and that allowed them to pressure what was a definite Jaguar overlap. But coming back for the breakdown, U.S. will have been disappointed to have given away the ball on the knock-on on the switch pass.
Now this situation, center field scrum, is can be doubly dangerous for a team. Very hard to defend.
Well, two good options for Argentina. They've got 2 left footers in the back line in the number 10, the fly half Poet, and the fullback Tucalet. So both ways are an option. Traditionally, teams will go to the right, which Argentina have chosen to do.
Well done by Mills, the American winger, to come up and snuff out that attack. Argentina back on their haunches, but still coming forward, still running the ball, not giving up on that principle of using the ball, moving it. Ball's gone down, but the referee has spotted an offside, I believe, so he's going to come back.
He might have called the U.S. left wing in for a bit high. We'll see if there's a signal from the referee. Now he's called on from the scrum that the U.S. backs, who were back 5 meters from their number 8, came up too quickly there. No. Don't see that called very, very often.
Might have been the help of the assistant referee on this side of the field to help them out. When in any case, Argentina's kicked for the corner, and they've got a line out just inside the U.S. 22-meter. And I would anticipate the catch and drive from Argentina. And there's the catch, but no drive. But they've left a huge goal hole in that line out. And that's shooting through there is the Argentinian scrum half, Pedro Imhoff. Recycled, and now once again the Americans trying to hold up the Argentinian attacker and get it put into the scrum. unable this time. So, oh, the short kick trying to go through. You know, when those come off, they're brilliant, but when they don't, the Americans have got the quick turnover. What will they do? I like the adventure there. 2-on-1 on the outside, and they've moved the ball down the right flank. Stay in bounds and recycle quickly and come to the left, and they've done just that. The Americans are lined up. Short ball into the middle of the field. Dolan takes it up, the captain. Now if they can hit it up quickly, the way, that's Paulu. Out to the wing. Now stay in bounds. This is the guy who's come in on the flank. Aspen, this number 20. Oh, he's lost it in contact. So America, promising movement, broken down just by a knock forward there, their own skill. Line breached once again by Argentina. Nice long placement by the Argentinian attack. The Americans have regrouped. They've scrambled to regroup nicely. Calling for the maul. And they've won the turnover once again.
Well, that was a nice extended bit of play by Argentina, hard on attack. A chip kick through that went astray. Nice counterattack by the States. And then again, some.
There's a replay coming in now. Just a little.
So the end of the play is again the Argentina ball carrier is tied up, wrapped up, and can't get the ball away. It's the third time now. A turnover decision in the scrum for the U.S. But again, both teams showing some ambition, playing off turnover ball, and that was some of the nicest continuity of play we've seen from the Eagles tonight. And on both occasions, the two wings each once had an opportunity to come in off their wing, keep the ball alive, it was only for both teams, just the tiny errors, the little knock on that, turns the ball over. And we just keep, as we tick away towards, going towards minute 22 in the second half, that it looked at times as Argentina looking to make a few substitutions now, but the Jaguars sort of threatening to sort of blow the game open, and they haven't been able to. And it would be really interesting if the States could score a try, could set up a big finish.
Well, a try, getting on the scoreboard for the Americans with a try would be something new for them this tournament. And as they were kept off the score sheet last year in tries in any case. And they've got to put into this scrum. So I think you're absolutely right. You will see more adventure from the Americans. What have they got to lose?
Two replacements for the Jaguars. Fidel Lamy, number 20, and Patricio Fernandez, number 22. And there was the response. A couple of new additions and a big scrum and penalty award.
Well, the Americans will be disappointed. They were starting to get some form of parity in that scrum and engagement. Sometimes not winning the push, but not conceding penalties. But now they've given away penalties. They've given away territory on that last play, and Argentina will have to throw into this line out. They're taking their time getting there, so there's definitely some strategy involved with the Argentinian side in this line out. Once again, I was wrong on the last one. There was the pick, and they went straight off the top, but 12 meters out, I think the drive is at hand. So it's one in the middle. The referee says no, free kick against Argentina. What do you think that calls for, Ian?
Maybe closing the gap. Hard to say. He's gesturing away at various players about moving. Anyway, a technical offense. It's not a penalty. It's just a free kick. So while the States can get the territory from this clearance, it will be, if the ball goes straight out of bounds, it will be a Jaguars throw.
Well, the ball is out of bounds, so Jaguars will throw into this line out. They're still in the U.S. half, 45 meters out.
And the game just needs a bit of a spark. Just someone just light the touch paper and get things open up. It's just sort of gone a bit flat for the last little while.
The throw is good. It's a bit bobbled. and knocked forward by Argentina. So the U.S. once again will get the put into the scrum. I couldn't agree with you more, Ian. Definitely has gone a little bit flat. Sometimes that's the result of too many substitutions. They kind of take away from the continuity.
And I think in defense for all the teams, they really, this is the start of an 8-day tournament, and they've only been together. They've had teams have basically had 2 or 3 training sessions, and so just the tiny little combinations, the little bits of timing, just can go amiss. And as we've nights have fallen here, it's getting damp, and even though the surface is perfect, the ball is a bit slippery.
Well, Dolan with a nice flick between his legs get this U.S. attack going, and they're moving down. This is Mills that does well to stay in bounds. That's good, but he's very loose with that ball in contact. And America's suffered from that in the past, and wants to suffer it again. We've got a player going straight down on the ball, says referee Asmus, so it's a penalty against the U.S. Asking them to stay on their feet in the ruck area.
And again, Lestrange now has got a really good chance to, this will be one worth having a real go for deep in the 22.
The U.S. will learn to put into this line out just at the 22 meters. Line out coming. Teal, who's been in the wars today, a couple of bangs, but he's still in the game. Davies whips it out to his back line. And that player, just for a second, I thought he was isolated. Argentina battling hard at the breakdown, but they've gone off their feet. Another penalty against them right in front of the post. And now referee Asmus is going to have a word.
So, again, Cam Dolan is up to talk to Chris Asmus, and, he's just saying, at what point, will the player who are diving in to kill the ball at the breakdown be sent from the field? Obviously, Asmus has decided it's not the time yet. And now we have, again, this is after missing a long, ambitious attempt early in the game, Siddle's made 3 of 3, all from very, very handy positions. This is another, should be fairly straightforward.
Oh, the flag stayed down. So just as you said, that's straightforward. Siddle's gone to the left with that kick.
Yeah, 3 from 5 now. He will be furious that he's missed that one, because that's, absolutely straight in front. And chance missed.
Well, it just makes it a harder and a longer road for the Americans. They've got the ball in hand again, but Lestrange has gone to the air with that kick. And that's a superb catch by the Argentinian side. Got the ball deep in the pocket, so again, a bit of aerial ping pong. The U.S. got the ball now. Now they're looking to run. That's their captain, Dolan. Strong, long placement of the ball. Great recycling work by the Americans. In behind the second receiver. A little bit flat now in their attack. Number 12, Palu, in support on the ruck. Big hit. This is what the U.S. has to do. Maintain possession of the ball, put the Argentinians under pressure, look for that penalty or look for that breach in the defensive line. Up to the task. Danny Barrett recycling the U.S. number 6. That's Pittman, Sean Pittman. Fully capped player number 3 for the U.S.
And the penalty, looks like they've got penalty advantage again. And this has to be I'm thinking this has to be a card now.
Well, it's once again, we'll see if Dolan is going to go and have a word with him. It does seem to be, yeah, he's going to call over the Argentinian captain now, referee Asmus.
Okay, guys, we're going to throw the
Now we're just going to go down and have a quick check-in with Brian Kelly. So referee is awarded a yellow card as we go down, and we were going to join Brian Kelly. Well, we're going to wait for the penalty now, I believe. Yeah, wait for the penalty. There's Lestrange. So the penalty's been awarded, and with that last miss from Siddle, we're going to go to the line out. The Americans have chosen that as an option. There's been a yellow card awarded against Argentina, so they're down to 14 players. Guido Petti.
Well, I think it had to come. That's just fourth, fifth infringement in the red zone, in the attacking zone. States on the attack, and big decision now. 20 points to 9. 10 minutes to play. Man advantage. Gonna have man advantage for the rest of the game. It's time to score right now. And a bit lucky there for the States, didn't secure their own lineup ball, but the tap back runs loose in goal, and the Eagles are able to pour through now, turn that line-out chance into a scrum chance.
Well, you're absolutely right. They're very fortunate to get a second opportunity there, losing their own line-out throw after the penalty, but now they've got an opportunity with the scrum. Man down in the scrum. I would imagine that Argentina would only pack 7 in the scrum. They wouldn't bring one of their backs in to shore up their scrummaging. I don't think they need any help in that department.
Well, they certainly won't do it on a U.S. put in. They may do it on their own if they're in their 22 and they need to clear the ball just to protect it a better. But this will be 3-4, no number 8. And it'll be interesting to see the States' choice here. Do they want to keep it in close and smash away with the odd man up front, or are they going to have a go and move it?
Free kick awarded against the Argentinians. Going early. So the Americas now two short meters away from getting their first try in 2 years of trying at the ARC Championship. Being held up now, a bit of a choke tackle on them by the Argentinian side. Still waiting for the ball. Very patient refereeing by referee Chris Asmus. Ball comes loose. The Americans be very patient. Looks like they might be thinking about moving this one into the back line, but no. They're going to go for the pick and go once again. Argentinian defense remains stingy. And now the ball's gone wide. Desperate attempt by the Americans. Looking around, going for some width. Spalu on his own, one-on-one. At least the ball didn't go loose in the contact area. Deal, Hooker will handle the ball well for the Americans today. Dolan, the captain. Lestrange, fly half. Dummies and goes on his own. And the ball is lost once again in contact. And the Argentinians respond with what they've been doing all evening, which is running the ball. Oh, and Argentina able to clear their lines safely. What an opportunity gone.
Yeah, superb defense by the Jaguars. And forcing a turnover after multiple U.S. phases, and we might look at 33 minutes, 7 minutes and a bit of injury time to go. That may be actually the deciding, part of the game. 20 points to 9. If the U.S. score and convert there, 2016, it's game on to finish. Now the U.S. is cleared, still a the Argentina is cleared, still a 2-score advantage, and the U.S. may be ruining that opportunity. Well, not may, they will be ruining that they couldn't finish that opportunity.
Well, again, once the U.S. have a throw into this lineout, plenty of movement, and they've gone to the back, and they've lost it. Argentina coming away with it, and the big fend off on the left-hand side, and Argentina are just taking this to the Americans. They could have, looks like they might have turned this over for the first time in the game, the Americans. No option but to go wide as the blitz defense comes from the Argentinians. and they're jackling over top of the ball, and now they've got the turnover in the contact area. Quick possession. Mills comes up hard, and the referee says that ball was knocked backwards, so Argentina's still in possession, exploring the short side. Tucolet, the captain, chip and chase. Was he taken out late? He's certainly playing it up as if he has. But the referee and the assistant referee are having no part. Game on. Imhoff, the right winger, looks for a gap and finds one, so he's on his own, looking to step, still in possession, just short of the line, and he gets over. Well, fortune favors the brave, and Argentina has definitely been brave this evening. Every opportunity to run, they've been running it.
Well, if we could back it all the way up prior to the kick ahead, and then prior to the fine run by the winger to score, Argentina turned the ball over in midfield off the. Well, we see the end of the score here on replay. A great run by the right wing, number 14, Facundo Barea, latching onto a loose kick and going through for what will be the absolutely clinching score. But the build up to that, the U.S. had the ball about their 10-meter line in the middle of the field. It was a big tackle, and that was the opportunity that Argentina saw to pour multiple numbers into the ruck, 5 or 6. Big counter ruck opportunity, turned the ball over, moved it right, chipped ahead, U.S. defense in all sorts of pressure, scrambly kick back, and then their counterattack try. And so again, 20 points to 9, U.S. on attack, could have scored to make it a one-score game. 2 minutes later, it's at the other end, and really that will be Argentina may score again, but that will be the absolute clincher.
You're so right, Ian. That wasted opportunity by the U.S. A few minutes to go inside the Argentinian 22 results in Argentina scoring a try underneath the post converted. So they are taking a commanding lead now, 27-9, as the strain starts again for the Americans. That one has gone not 10 meters. So you will watch this, and there'll be a scrum awarded at center field to the Argentinians. And that really is a cardinal sin of a fly half or anyone doing the restarts, and a real team killer in terms of having just conceded some points and now giving away possession at center field. It is,
and it's under a lot of pressure there. I mean, the kick is inches from being perfect, and the U.S. need to win the ball back, So, but restarts are crucial, and when you don't put it 10, it's conceding possession, and it's midfield, and again, this is another great position for Argentina.
Well, Chris Sullivan and Peter Moala have entered the game for the U.S. Coming off is that tight head Sean Pittman, who's had a fantastic game tonight. And number 12 as well has left the field, Mike Pulu. So Argentina with the put into the scrum, and they showed they're very dangerous from these midfield scrums. They went right, as you predicted, on that last midfield scrum, and we'll watch what they do on this one.
They've got it.
And they've gone left this time. So switching it up, the scrum half has fended off and beaten 2 or 3 players. The U.S. is giving away a penalty, not releasing the tackled player, I would imagine. So Argentina with possession and penalty advantage. The referee sees no advantage coming, so yes, exactly. He's signaling not releasing the player on the ground, so penalty against the U.S. for that.
And at the scrum in the middle there, the Jaguars were able just to get a little nudge forward on the loose head side, and that opened up the left side to attack, and the scrum half saw it and really ripped off 20-meter run. And again, it's amazing how the score lines can just blow out in the last 8-9 minutes of a game. We had 20 points to 9, U.S. hard on attack, chance to get within one score, and yet we could see Argentina scoring here, and getting up with a game that looks 34-9, looks like completely one-sided, when it hasn't been that one-sided.
No, it's just one team being able to finish their chances, and another team squandering their opportunities, although they've had several. Argentina again inside the U.S. 22. taking the ball up slowly, pick and go, looking to suck in this U.S. defense before they bring the ball wide. There's lots of width on their game, and they've got players all over the field with the skill to move that ball with the spin pass off the left hand. There's one. Juggling the ball, and there's a strong challenge by the replacement player. Great work by number 22, Peter Maloa. A little bit of afters there from both sides. Some frustration coming into the American side, obviously, understandably. And maybe a bit of arrogance on the Argentinian side.
Well, Argentina maybe look at that opportunity that with the U.S. defense was fairly narrow there, and the open side wing for Argentina was well wide of his marker, and possibly a kick pass would have been the useful option there. Hard to see with the, but again, very, very strong defense by the Eagles in the midfield.
See if you catch a replay here. Oh, this is the first try of the game. That great work by the Argentinian captain and fullback to put that nudge into the game. That's Argentina started like that, and they really haven't stopped going all evening.
Well, you'd certainly expect a captain's lead, and Joaquin Tuculet, the fullback, the Jaguars captain, has been very, very prominent tonight. And as fair play, as has Cam Dolan, the Eagles captain at number 8. He's had a tremendous match, all over the place, loose play, tremendous defense, key line-out target. He'll be, I think, maybe disappointed with the scoreline as it stands now, but he'd have to be pretty pleased with his own game.
Yeah, definitely. Another interesting question, Ian. If I have to ask you for the man of the match, taking the score aside, any nominations from you for man of the match? Offload, there's Dolan, one of the candidates. He's taking the ball forward for the U.S., but he's been stripped of the ball in the tackle. Now with time up on the clock, the Argentinians are still playing some enterprising play. That one is an interesting kick by the replacement scrum half, and he might have been trying to get that one out of bounds to end the game. Inside ball to Mills, and they've got room on the left and right should they pursue. They've gone to the right. So still some good enterprise by America, maybe a little bit too late. They'll take something from this game. They'll learn how keeping the ball in hand, keeping the ball in possession, work on their contact skills a bit more. And as you mentioned, just another couple days of cohesion might be a difference when they face Canada and your Uruguay later on. Sean Davies recycling the possession. The ball's gone down. Referee says no knock. That one's out of bounds though. Knock forward by the U.S.
Well, I think if we are, talking a man of the match, that if I had to pick, I'm going to go with the respective captains, and so I'll give Joaquin Tuculet, the Jaguars captain, the fullback, number 15, just always engaged in the attack, and good leadership at the back, and also just a couple of really two pieces of exquisite skill, one grub kick and one chip kick, which we've shown a couple of times. But again, just generally a very solid. They've played on the edge of the law quite a bit in their own 22, the Jaguars, but they've defended very well. Made key tackles when they've had to, and there's been no way through for the States. And again, this is the States last year in the 3 matches only managed 1 try, and they've been close again today, and they just have to find what's that little bit that's going to make them, give them the opportunity to finish off.
So here we are at scrum time. And it's probably getting close to the end of this match. Referee resetting the scrum.
Well, I think we can look to 2 key moments, Spencer. Immediately after halftime, a score the States would not really have wanted to concede, obviously, and then obviously at 20 points to 9, not scoring, and then Argentina countering. So those 2 moments, one to start the half, this second half, one to finish it, have played a big part.
The U.S. saving some of the best for last. U.S. scrum taking their opponents around 90 degrees, again winning the turnover.
And there's the new loose head, number 17, Nick Wallace, and of course he's is thrown in with the Eagles program, but he did have the opportunity to play U20 rugby internationally for Canada. Played in Japan in 2009, the Canada U20s, and obviously a dual citizen. But now with the Eagles and doing extremely well.
That's a good shot. Really like that.
That's another good strong scrum. Dolan screaming that the Argentinian scrum half was offside, but in any case, the ball's been moved wide. The U.S. still looking for space out wide. Offload is great by Siddle, the fullback. And the Argentinians really do contest at that breakdown area when they want. They make it difficult and slow the ball down for the Americans to get quick possession.
Well, it's all decision making. If they think they've got a chance to turn it over, they'll put numbers in, and if they don't, they won't. Here now they're not. They've got to tackle one player in, another 13 players on their feet, and that's very hard for any attack to break through that. Again, just one player in. Although he was pretty effective.
And that's our replacement scrum half, Chris Saint, new member of the squad. And we've seen this before from the Americans. Unfortunately, this is when their skills have been broken down, when they've kept it in these close quarter situations. So now they're trying to get a little bit of width on the ball. The tackling is still strong from the Argentinians. Late into the fixture. Inside ball is picked up well by Mills, and he's got some long placement on it. Now they're getting close to the touchline. This is where they've also faltered. So many phases, not really going forward, side to side by the Americans, still looking for that break in that Argentinian defense, but it is stingy, as you mentioned, Ian. And this Chapman trying to step his way through. Ball's gone down, but backwards. So there's Mills breaking through, and he's found the seam. Let's see if he can step. Still a strong tackle in open play. That's Chris Sullivan taking it up for the Americans. The American attack has been relentless. It's got to come quickly. Now the referee's got it. Still, now it's slowed down. That's Mills, but his fourth touch on the ball in this movement, the left winger. He's been busy tonight. Options are left. Strong tackling by the RG says still. Referee says ball is out. Good discipline needed from the Americans. No panic. Just stick to your game plan. Rely on your skills. And they're doing just that as they creep closer and closer to that elusive try. Strong play coming in. Oh, and then once again you saw it there. Just that one tired player knock on again. So the Americans have been their own worst enemy in this part of the game, and referee Asmus signals for full time. And that's it. First match of the ARC 2013 finishes Argentina 27, USA 9.
Yeah, so a fair reflection, 27-9 on the game. A bit more clinical finishing by Argentina and some very, very good defense. But I think the U.S. can still take away some positives. They were much more enterprising with the ball than a year ago. And I think as they go through the week with two more games, Tuesday against Canada and then the following Saturday in what will be psychologically a big game against Uruguay, I think we'll see them across the whitewash a few times.
Well, I certainly hope so. They showed some enterprise, and they do deserve to come away with some points. They've got the 9 from 3 penalties today, but they're definitely looking across that white line by dotting the ball down. So great game, both sides, particularly the Argentinian side, showing that attack is the way to move forward on these fantastic fields they have out here at the Westhills Stadium in Langford. And so we're looking for more positive rugby coming up. Canada versus Uruguay in their first fixture of this year's ARC competition. And I think we've had a good start to the tournament as we did last year. Argentina victorious 27 points to 9 over the United States of America.
All right, joining me now is fullback and captain Joaquin Tucalet of Argentina. 27-9 victory. What did you think of your team's performance today?
It was very hard. USA has a good team, but I think for a few moments we played very well and we can win.
How important was this victory to start off the tournament?
It was so important. I think USA has a good team, very good player with a mix, some amateur player and experience. We played well too and we won.
What are you going to work on for your games against Uruguay and Canada?
We have work in this week and I think we can win again.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
So Argentina winning the first game of the 2013 IRB Americas Rugby Championship 27-9, and up next will be Canada against Uruguay. Canada lost last year in the finals to Argentina after having beaten Uruguay and the United States. Captain Andrew Tiedemann said earlier on this week that his team is really interested in winning these first 3 games of the tournament. Joining me now is the captain of the United States. Big push in the end there, but couldn't quite find the goal line. What did you think of your team's performance today?
You know, compared to last year, I think we've really excelled, especially defensively. That was one of our weak points last year, and I think we came out and we played a strong game. A couple little mistakes. You know, a weak try there late off a simple missed tackle, and you know, a couple tries early kind of hurt us. But I mean, overall, like I said, defense went well. Our tackle looks much stronger. You know, we just got to fix up a couple minor mistakes, and I think it's a single-digit loss, if not a win, in our favor.
Your next game is up against Canada, the host team here. Yeah. It's always a great game, Canada against the United States. How important is a win there on Tuesday night?
You know, anytime we play Canada in any sport, it's always pretty important. I think for both countries. You know, it's one of those games you kind of get up for. Adrenaline keeps you going for 80+ minutes. So hopefully, you know, we can come out with a W. I know they're going to have a strong fan base here. So maybe, you know, hopefully we can use that to kind of fuel us as well.
Thank you very much. All the best the rest of the tournament. Thank you. And coming out on the field now in just a minute will be Canada and Uruguay for the second game here of Day 1, IRB Americas Rugby Championship. My name is Brian Kelly. On behalf of the guys upstairs in the booth, we'll be back in just a minute with the second game.